Hi, everybody, and welcome to the show. This is our 2 times a month show, Astral Wars, with Diana Bowles, aka Oil Painter, and with Paul, aka White Dragon, and Diane G, aka Kumo Observer. So we're happy to have you with us. I am going to be doing more work backstage today. Just not feeling up to snuff, but these lovely people are the ones with all the know-how. So I'm going to turn it over to them. Let me know if you need me, because I'll just be right here, guys. In the meantime, I think Paul wanted us to start out with the A1 Atlas info.
Okay.
Is that right? Okay. Thanks, everybody.
Okay. So since last time, I've been watching this thing really closely, and I know it wasn't a comment like they're saying and all this other stuff. It's a lot of misinformation out on the web. I will tell you, I don't agree with all the information that's being said right now. In my experience, and I'm only talking about what I know personally. They're not friendly. They're very hostile once they're spied out and you know who they are. So, anyways, um, there, when I looked at it, I saw some insects, creatures. I saw mandibles and little beady black eyes, and then I saw some type of gray, a very slender gray, and it was shiny. It looked like it had a suit on, and I know that was armor. So that said, ooh, okay, there's something going on here. So I had the command ship go out there and ask them what your intentions are, because I've been shadowing them with 2 Minutemen teams in stealth mode, so they didn't see them at all. So they went over there and then they delivered the message. As soon as they delivered the message, I got attacked. They didn't answer the command ship. They went directly for me. And it was a type of energy that was like red blood, very, very negative, anger kind of thing. So, my lucky for me, my armor held. so, then I gave him an ultimatum. I said, you got to stop this, or you will be blown out of the sky. And that stopped immediately as soon as that message was delivered. So I said, okay, maybe they got the memo. And then later on, a little after that, the same attack came back, but it wasn't as strong. So I gave them the ultimate. I said, this is not acceptable. You will cease. This is your first and only warning that you will get from me. And that stopped. So then I said, okay, so I stopped. So we're shattering it. I had the Athena split into two, and I said, I'm not going to take any chance. The Athena split into two, and I asked her to go and shatter it in stealth mode. And I knew there was more than that. It wasn't just a single thing. So I asked Michael, what's going on? He goes, oh, there's other ships, and so I had them. There were about over 130 ships flying behind that thing. As soon as I gave them the ultimatum, most of them left and 13 left. 13 stayed. And the other ones were far off. So then I said, what's really going on? And then so I waited a little bit, and then I finally decided that this thing wasn't going to get anywhere. So I had it cleared. And I asked them to clear it out. They took out all the entities off of it. It's now a husk. It's not a husk on automatics, and it does have like some kind of AI in it, but that's not a living thing. The beings themselves were pulled away, and how they did it, I saw that there was 2 ships, and they put in this. It looked like a big, huge net made out of golden wires, and they ran it through from one end to the other, and they gathered up all all the creatures that were on it, and they were really angry. I saw some of those things, like, oh God. So they took them away, and they went after. I says, you go after the other ones, the other ships, and they took them away. So right now that it's just one husk. It's still broadcasting. It is broadcasting benevolent messages because that's what it wanted to be seen as, and that's what everybody in the internet is tuning into. You have to get past that level of deception that they're putting out. Based on what I know, and very few people even are able to do that. Even good people that do remote view and stuff, they can't break through it. So it's very strong. So I've I've made a decision, and it's an executive decision that I made, and it's going to flip by the other side of the sun when we can't see it for a while, and it's going to be boarded, and they're going to see what's in it, and based on that, it might even not come out the other end. So it depends. I don't know what's going to happen. So that's my message. Do not fall for it. It is not. It was a colonizing invasive force, and they were aiming for Mars.
I
That
got, I
yeah,
have that there is an isolated part of that ship that has benevolent beings on it, and they're the ones who are still working on the broadcasts. The organic is still there. The organic is still on the outside of the machine as well. And th- I I don't see that you got them when you got the others. That this benevolent group that were being invaded, they were basically in an isolated area of the ship that the invaders didn't even know was there. Let's
that's
just put it.
possible. That's possible because that net. I've never seen anything like it. It kind of reminds me of one of the old Star Trek shows where they had all these this net that was being built around the Enterprise, and they were going to capture it and all this. It kind of reminded me of that because the net went right through from one end to the other, and it gathered up all the negative entities. And I said negative entities. I didn't know there were positive entities on there. So it must have been some kind of discernment that the net had.
Well, so the original, what I also get is that this was the Martians, the original population that survived or got off of the planet Mars just before it imploded, just before it hit its demise, and that they had gone out into space with this. And while out there, think about how long ago that had to have happened, even if we think of it in an orb and not a linear time. So they, of course, picked up many other beings along the way. They're looking, to survive their own species and turning into hybrids because of that, right? And mating with others who did help and assist along the way. And just like the blowing up of the prism of Lyra, you get a few bad seeds along the way. You get a few people that think differently, or beings of whatever sort that are thinking differently and are power hungry. So there was still always this isolated part. I don't want to say pinky in the brain, but kind of like that. I mean, there's a part that is isolated that nobody ever gets to because they don't know it's existing because they're not of a high enough mind to find that, to realize that it's there. Now, astronomically, we can't see it because it's going to be too close to the sun. And we are on the other side of the sun, and it is orbiting between the sun and Mars itself. Mars is home planet. And in that, we won't be able to see it till December 16th or 19th, sometime at near mid-December. and then it will come back into view. And, you know, just as I don't doubt that you certainly witnessed some demise on this ship, but I do believe that
Oh yeah,
the
they hold them off.
the,
They send them off to processing. I mean,
the
it's out of my hands. So
It's very
but they did
interesting that
not take the
you
other
say that.
beings.
Hmm.
no, well, that's what apparently that's what happened. The bad ones got taken off, and the ones that weren't stayed. So that's good. That's good to hear, Diane.
Whenever I check on 3i Atlas, I always ask if there are benevolent or malevolent because I'm very interested in it. But I don't remote view things that are malevolent for my own protection. So whenever I ask about it, they always tell me that it's not malevolent and it's not benevolent. So I believe that there are some good parts or good beings there, and there are also not so good beings or bad beings. But yeah, the message that I keep getting, at least for myself personally, is just to observe it. I don't know if I'm involved in the project of that, but yeah, it's interesting to hear our different experiences about it. So thank you for sharing that, Paul.
Yeah, all I can say is my own experience. You know, I wouldn't have done what I had to do if they wouldn't have attacked. If I wanted to ask them, "What's your intention?" You know, tell me what you want to
Hmm.
do, and that's a fair question. That is an exact fair question. I wasn't going to do anything else, but you know, unfortunately for them, they attacked, and it was a pretty strong attack. I mean, they went straight for me, and I do not take that very lightly. I've learned that, and the deal I have with Mike is, hey, you know, they attack, that's it, they forfeited. Otherwise, they get a chance. Anything else that you want to say? Oh, you have any questions or?
No, I'm good. I mean, we're up in the air. We won't know till it gets on this side in December.
Hmm.
I don't, you know, we don't know that it isn't landing on Mars.
Hmm.
No, that's the other thing. I told them not to land, not to go anywhere, not to keep going. If you deviate from it, that's it. You're goner. You're a goner. So that's what we're watching right now,
But
and
but the
that those are
cameras
the rules.
the
Did you
cameras
tell?
are off except for the Mars rover, and in that doing, Mars rover is not getting the same type of images that our scopes would get. And so we won't know for sure if they're landing on Mars or not.
Well,
And
the rover captured it. I saw the pictures.
but that's once, and it hasn't happened yet. They haven't gotten close enough to get there and land it yet.
Ali has a comment. Government is planning to turn off satellites, so we don't know what is going on.
Exactly.
It
This
doesn't
is something
matter
that,
if
yeah,
they
it's
don't
something that
show
you
it or not.
posted,
I
Diana,
mean,
too.
I've got resources that I have available that I can find out what's going on, and I'm sure that you ladies have resources too. So I mean, to me, that's okay. Well, whatever. Do what you got to do. It don't stop me from doing what I need to do. So that's all. That's all there is to it.
Mhm.
So
Diana, you posted a video a few days ago about 3i Atlas, and I got reminded of it because of Ali's comment about turning off satellites, because this is all happening when the U.S. government was on shutdown. Yeah, so
Trump.
everyone, if
Okay.
you still haven't checked that video out, please check it on Diana's channel too.
Well, Ali, don't worry about it. He ain't never going to use the med beds on aboard my ship ever.
Okay.
He's not welcome.
Mm-hmm.
The ship won't allow him to step off. That's it's. She knows. She decides.
Mm-hmm.
So that's pretty much it. I don't know
Mm-hmm.
anything else about Atlas. I don't know what else could be said about it. The information comes in pieces, and as it comes in pieces, I'll let you know.
Mhm.
Uh,
Yeah, we would very much appreciate that, Paul. Because we're looking
what
at different
bothers
perspectives of Three Eye Atlas, and we have our own different
Yeah, you
messages and
guys tune into
experiences. So
different
it's
things.
very,
What
yeah.
bothers me is that there's a lot of people doing the same thing, and I know it's because it is broadcasting these messages out of, hey, we're benevolent, we're not really bad, but based on my experience, what happened when I had them contacted, showed me that they weren't. At least some of them were, and those got taken away. So I consider it to be a husk right now. Uh, it's not. I don't think it's dangerous at this point.
Mhm.
Could be, but
That I would agree. I
I
agree.
don't think I don't think it's dangerous at this point.
No,
It's not gonna,
I, it's not dangerous.
not at this moment. No.
Mhm. Patricia Hernandez asks, I asked White Dragon about med beds, and he may want to repeat what he shared about that, and DJT mentioning them. Yeah, our viewers are talking about med beds. So just to give a background for the people who are watching the replay or just new, what is a med bed?
Well, a med bed is a device that looks like a high tech bed, and it's different ET species have their own flavor. I mean, the ones I deal with are Arcturian designs. There's Palladian designs. There's other designs. I have one on the ship in the sick bay. I call it the
Mhm,
sick bay, but it's a medical bay where they treat people. And mine looks like a chair. It's different.
mhm,
It's not like a bed. It could turn into a chair, but it's and I just go in there and sit. But I don't need to do that anymore because my suit has it built in already. So that's one of the upgrades that I got done because of certain things that happened. But anyways,
mhm,
it gets in there and it uses light and it uses frequency, and I don't think it uses any chemicals or anything. It's not chemical based,
mhm.
and it tries to get your body or whatever it is and back into tune so that you can heal yourself.
The ones
My
that I have experiences with in med beds are pretty much like yours. I think they are Arcturian. They look like chairs, but they're like recliner chairs, and they
Yeah,
have
yeah,
a
that's
light.
that's mine. That's what mine looks like on the
Mhm,
ship. It looks like a big Barca lounge chair,
mhm,
with the bottom, your feet go up and stuff.
mhm.
And but they
And
got other ones that have like bubbles at each end, and clear bubbles, and they may close and they may not close. It depends what's going to be done to the person. There was a movie called Elysium, and you
mm,
can look it up. I recommend you watch it. Elysium, Ely. I don't know how to spell it. Elysium.
that's how you
Elysium.
Anyways, they have those in there in that movie, and they showed it how it cured a little girl with cancer
Mhm.
in like
Mhm,
seconds. And they had another scene where this guy got his face blown off, and it reconstructed his face. I don't know if the med beds do that, but I mean that's pretty interesting.
mhm. Diana?
My experience has been with frequency, sound, you know, Fuego and binaural beats and tuning forks, bowls, crystal bowls, humming, the healing and the rising of being able to move past the place that we are comes in the sound of frequency and in the sound of words. because words also have a frequency. So how do you speak to yourself and all of that other business? That all comes into play with this, because each sound we make, even though we're forming letters, like the sound Om. Well, when Buddhists Om, it is every sound that the universe holds. And this is basically what language is. It is sound, it is frequency. So that's been my experience with med beds.
And I say that there's human med beds already in place, but mostly they're used in the government for military projects and off planet. There may be a few on planet right now, but it's not available to anybody. It's for the elites only.
Um, Mary Thornberry asks, "Are you sure no one has come here to Earth without us knowing? Maybe to do some important work, say with the pyramids." Um, there are actually people who have come from other planets, but we're more aware of beings who are benevolent. The ones who came to Egypt and worked with the Egyptians during the ancient times mostly were from Venus, from Orion, and from Sirius. So the people who we know as Hathors are actually a group of people who came from Venus. Just an example, or to give you an idea. But yeah, there are a lot of ETs, ancient ETs who have worked with beings here on Earth.
Yep.
So it's something that we have seen over and over in the Akashic records. Yes, Diana?
Yeah. No, I was agreeing. And, we go from Lemuria to Atlantis to Egypt to Hawaii to back and forth, all of these land formations and populating and landing in places that remind them of home. The Hathors would be Egypt, of course.
Yes.
The water planets would choose Lemuria before its destruction.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
there are
And
pyramids all
still,
over the planet. There are pyramids everywhere, all over the planet.
yes,
yes. But it depends on the terrain. Like whenever I see Alpha Centauri, I see like Grand Canyon like terrain, so they are more attracted with places like that.
yeah,
As you have said, Diana, when it comes to water planets, let's say Mintaka and Beta Centauri or Sirius B, for example, they would choose like our seas and our oceans.
yeah. And Hawaii is still um, populated with the mermaid and the orca and the octopus and the creatures of the sea that come from that Venus beginning, that watery beginning. Not Venus, I'm sorry, but the watery beginning of Mintaka. Is it Mintaka?
Yeah, Mintaka.
That's in the Pleiades, right?
Yeah,
Mintaka
that's
is in
the missing.
Orion.
Mintaka is in Orion.
Mhm.
Oh, all right. Okay. Okay. So let's see.
Angela Hunter asks, "Can ordinary people be taken to a med bed? No one has been able to help fix the swelling in my foot, leg, and it is getting worse over the years." Paul, who can use the med beds in the Athena?
Well, yeah, I have them on my ship. I mean, anybody who needs help can get there and use the facilities, but the only thing is that you need to get there. I mean, we don't go pick people up and take them there. No, there is a certain level that you need to. There's like a bar that it was set intentionally so that you can get there. And what I tell people is very simple. Just ask your guides or your higher self to take you there. Very simply. It's just very simple. It will take you there usually at night. You may not remember it. And then based on what your plan is for this lifetime, you may even get some relief or a healing. But if your plan says no, this is what you agreed to, and you're going to go through this, then it doesn't really help that.
Sometimes it has
That's
to do
a
with soul
limitation.
contracts.
Sadly, I don't agree with it, but that's the way it goes.
Yeah.
I mean,
Sometimes it has to
to
do
me,
with soul
anybody that
contracts
walks
for us.
on there and you got something, 100% healing. That's it.
Hmm.
But I don't decide that.
Hmm. And
Angela, may I offer Angela some earthly help?
yes,
There
please.
is and this could be hard because it'll show up on Amazon. If it shows up on Amazon, you have to make sure that you are selecting the correct one. The correct lymph node drainage assistance. And this is part of your problem. Your lymph nodes are not draining, particularly on that side of your body. So you need to be working on that. You need to work on draining them yourself. And in the beginning, you have to work with more pressure than you do once you get everything flowing. But there is a company. Ooh, I've forgotten the name of the company, but I use this product myself. It's fabulous. It is called Flush Factor Plus. I would go straight to the company and purchase from them. It is pricey, but one bottle and you'll be convinced. And it is pineapple, uh, the ingredient from asparagus, hibiscus, and two more natural food based products, but put together in the correct dosage to help with lymph node drainage. And because I'm not getting the kind of exercise that I usually do right now, it has helped tremendously. Of course, drink lots of water and give it a try. I hope you can give it a try. If you go to Amazon, you may find it a little bit cheaper, but that's when you've really got to read the label. And I have gone through this by looking at their label. They are using the label for the correct product on the bottles that they're showing for the incorrect product. So that's why I say go straight to the company.
Thank you, Diana. Um, Ali's reminding us, yes, for entertainment purposes only.
Yes,
Always
I am not a
consult with,
doctor. I may play one on television, but I am not.
yeah, please always consult with your medical professionals with matters regarding your health, everyone. So we have another question from our viewer, Leah. Avians, where are they from? So avians are the bird beings. From what I know, they are very high vibrational beings from a higher dimension, and they are from another galaxy. During the beginning of our galaxy, the avians and the cat beings or the feline beings, they came together in Lyra and started the humanoid race. But that is what I know and what I've seen from the records. How about you guys? Where do you think avians come from, or where do you believe they come from?
I think they're interdimensional. I call them the blue chickens, but I never actually seen one or interacted with one. I've heard of them, but
Blue chickens.
I don't. I don't interact with
I've
them.
seen two. I've seen blue and green avians. But yeah, more commonly, I believe they're blue.
Blue black.
Yeah.
I get I also get from Andromeda. There are so many winged beings on Andromeda. Of course, some of them are avian, right? And Beta Centauri, as well as being part of the beginning of Lyra, the beginning life factor of Lyra. When we consider our dinosaur, they are now revamping how to consider the dinosaur because of the pterodactyl and because of
Yeah.
so many babies that have been found with fuzzy feathers on their skin.
Yeah.
you
And
know
I've
so it just makes sense. These things are in the DNA that they're now using the bones for and all the other things that they can still find.
Mhm.
And so we should honestly think of how every system out there probably has a higher realm being, which is where we can put the avian.
Mhm. It's also interesting that you mentioned the dinosaurs because there are studies that the closest cousins to dinosaurs are chickens.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, very
No
Blue.
whiskers
interesting.
on my chin, but I got feathers everywhere.
Well, my favorite dinosaur is the pterodactyls. So
Mine.
Mhm.
the
I
friendly
only
ones.
I just have to get on my blue heron and take a ride, and I know he's the pterodactyl I used to ride too.
Fascinating. Okay, we have another question from Magical Mermaid. Ooh, I love that name. Do we think man has been able to close or open any alien portals?
Yeah,
I
portals are open all the time by people who do not should not be messing with them. My recommendation is to stay away from it. Don't even try because every single portal that I found is usually a negative portal, and you can tell them really fast. It's very easy to tell them apart. I usually close them. If they got jagged edges, it's a bad one. If it's got perfectly round edges, it's a good one.
Mhm.
That's how I go by.
For me, I don't see portals, but I feel them. And whenever I pass by a bad portal, it gives me like the creeps. But to answer your question, I don't I haven't seen any people who are opening or closing alien portals, but there are portals on Earth that aliens have used and that man or mankind has closed or opened. One example is the Gobekli Tepe. I've seen a question about this in the last episode that we weren't able to answer. There are some ancient sites who or which have been used as portals. And yeah, one of them was Göbekli Tepe. The Arcturians or Pleiadians were using the portal, and it was closed by humankind because it was being used by other beings who are malevolent. And so the ancient humans also closed it. How about you, Diana?
Well, in my practice of craft, because everybody knows I'm a witch.
The witch,
I'm a witch.
you're witchy poo, right?
Yes, sir. I'm proud of it. I've been burned at the
I like
stake.
witchy poo. Come on, she's one of my favorite characters. When I was
Well, yeah, right. Blinka, blinka. I I have closed portals. Now, they are portals that are disruptive. They usually are extensions of ley lines that may be running through a house, a portal that has been opened by a walkthrough who just comes into somebody's home or somebody's realm and, disrupts things. The poltergeist in your house, that sort of a thing, particularly on in new houses where there's burial grounds underneath and nobody researched all of that beforehand. So now you're disturbing what is everybody considers as hallowed ground through history, whether no matter what race you were, whether you were native to America or native to Europe, it's hallowed ground at the end, whether you had this Christian beginning or not. When it's done, you're going to Valhalla, you're going to whatever. So coming back is a feat, and there's usually a way for them to design a portal, or they just find one and use it as a walkthrough. Well, I have gone to homes and do a clearing, and in that
Mhm.
clearing, it is to close that portal. I don't prevent them from doing elsewhere unless they're malevolent, but they're not out to do harm unless the wrong one gets in. But by closing the portal when it is understood that that's what it is, it prevents the malevolent from coming through it.
Right. And really nasty stuff can get through.
Mm-hmm.
So don't mess with it. I mean, if you know what you're doing, don't even mess with it. And if you see one, get somebody else that can do it, and look, ask to see if it's a good one or a bad one. I mean, it's that simple. Don't mess with it. Um, the other thing that I wanted to do is talk about the new thing, the announcement, because I want to give Diana a chance to have her impressions.
Oh,
That's really the main reason why that I wanted to talk about. Anyways, since my ship, the Diana, has a pretty large medical facility on it, 100 med beds. It started out with about 20, and it got expanded to 100. It's fully staffed with doctors and nurses and everything else. And then a lot of people had been coming through, and some people even work there that are from Terry's tribe. I think Leah is one of them. I'm not sure. Leah or
Leah.
Patricia Hernandez. One of those two. I don't particularly remember exactly which one, but they worked there. They were on the Athena, and then they're still on the Athena because my ship is parked inside my command ship. My command ship is parked inside the Athena, so they still technically inside the Athena. Anyways, so we have people coming all the time, get treated, blah, 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 whatever. And I started thinking, let's see if we can do something with the elementals. So I know that they help people to heal. So I had my ship build a special space. I call it a nature preserve. It's a very large area. It looks like a garden, and it's got like trees and grass and little ponds and areas where you can go meditate in front of like a pond and everything else. So, and then I started thinking, these elementals are usually earth things. So then how we going to get elementals moving? So I asked Michael. He goes, okay, well, let's ask Mama Gaia to come over and look it over. And she did. He asked her, and he brought her over. And then she looked around, and she really liked it. And then she placed a focus of herself inside the center of this preserve. So I said, okay, fine, that's great. I really like that. So, we kept going. And then, more people started showing up. We had Jesus show up and Buddha show up. They came in, and they looked what was going on. They kind of liked it. They seemed like they liked it, and they set up another focus. It looks like the sun, a yellow sun that goes up and down. And there was a third master, a lady master. I don't know who she is. Maybe you ladies can spy that out. She handled the focus for the moon. And so now there's, this day and night cycles with the moon. So then the next thing I said, I go, oh, I really like this. So then the door kept opening, and more elementals started pouring in. A whole pile of them. They ran inside, and they took over the place, and they did that kind of stuff. And then some more people showed up, and it's like Yogananda showed up, and he brought his 3 masters with him. And there was, Yogananda's group was 4 masters, and him and 3 others. And they showed up, and they liked it. And I said, oh boy, this is really turning into something. So then I asked my ship, I said, let's expand it a little bit. Let's make like a special place for teaching and lectures and things like that. So that, it's like an amphitheater from the Greek, when they used to do the Greek plays and stuff, something like that with columns of marble and stuff. It's open air and everything. So that's really good. So that's already done. And then I had a whole bunch of people who are like nature guys, they came in here, and they're going to build the ecosystem and all this kind of stuff. And then Saint Germain showed up. I didn't ask for him. I mean, he just showed up. So there's a new parade of these beings coming in there, and he liked it. And then what he did is he put the violet flame into the water for the area where there's water. There's a waterfall. So if you ever go in there, you can drink the water, and you get violet flame too. for helping you heal. So I go, oh, this is great. This is great. So then I started thinking, if this is going to be this way. So I asked Metroton. Oh, Metroton and Michael were there too. So I asked Metroton, can we please have a focus for the Solaris Healing Center temples in here? And he agreed, and he put one there. So now we have all these focuses in there. And now, so all we have to do is, this is for the people who go there for treatment, and they can use the facility. And if you don't go for treatment, you can still use the facility. The only requirement is that you have to get there. And I just told you how to get there. And it's very simple. Do it. You may not remember it, but you can get there. And that's the whole idea. Apparently, the masters love it for some reason. So I guess this needed to be done. So I'm just announcing to everybody here that you're welcome to come. You will be vetted in coming into the ship, because she won't let anybody who's negative on her, inside her. So that's what she does. So, if you come in here you have good intentions and you want a healing, sure, she'll let you in. She'll take you there. So that's the announcement. I wanted to make that sure. And then Diana went there, and then she's going to talk about her experience.
Well, this morning, actually, during Terry's meditation, I went there. I had been there before her meditation as I was waking up this morning, but I didn't understand where I was. So during the meditation, it took me right back, which is the place I want to be, and is a place that I miss right now, and that is walking deep in the woods where I walk all the time. And I haven't been able to get in there. And that's where I was. And it was pre-dawn, but there was just enough dusk in the sky for you to know that the sun would come up, but it's going to be a couple of hours. So I was watching the day begin, even though it had already started, because now this time I'm physically at Terry's meditation this morning. And through this whole time, there's this path that takes me over a bridge with all these beautifully gnarled trees and moss growing on the bark while the tree is still alive, as thick as pillows. It's just such a beautiful place. It felt so good to be there, and so relieving to be there. So that was after you had already mentioned it, and then I realized they take you where you want to go. And my belief in why the Ascended Masters like it there is because it doesn't stop with the 369 code. It goes on to the 12th code, which is where we have to go in order to ascend. But 15, 16, and 17 strings, which is the highest up there, is the Ascended Masters and the Angelic. And it is wide open and readily available where you have placed this.
Exactly. I mean, I do encourage everybody to really make an effort to try to get there. And you look, young lady Diane, you look like you could use to go there. Go there and
Yeah, it's very interesting.
Drink some of the water. It
Yeah.
has animals. It has butterflies. It's going to have, birds and bumblebee. It's going to have bees. I asked for bees.
Bees
It's
for
gotta
Diana
have
too.
bees.
Does this place have a name right now?
I'm just calling it the nature preserve, the preserve. I don't know if you have a better name for it. I'm
The
game.
nature preserve. I love that.
Well,
And
wherever
we're
your
working with
favorite
elementals for this.
But I mean, it seems to be growing with things. And now before this show, I since I've been painting these doors, see the entrance to the place. I asked the ship. I said, hey, can we? do you see
No.
the doors I've been painting? She goes, yes. I says, okay, can we have something like that done to the entrance so that it looks like you're coming into a garden? Because these doors are supposed to be the entrance to a magical secret garden. So it goes along with all this stuff. So let's see.
You just took me to one of my favorite children's early reader chapter books, The Secret Garden.
The secret garden.
It's a secret garden, and
You
it's
did.
not, it's just a place to integrate yourself when you really need it, and we all need it here and there all the time. I need some place to get away and really get a hold of myself and heal and just be there, enjoy it, and relax and drink the water and watch the animals and some place that makes you feel so good that you're going to naturally heal.
Yeah. Speaking
That's
of
what I
feeling
meant.
relaxed,
That is,
we got a question from Leah.
yeah.
Please, how can we best control our heart rate and nervous system if we make contact? Because, we might be feeling scared.
Breath work. Breath
If
work,
we
breath
make
work, breath
contact,
work. That is your best way to control everything. Whenever you feel the fright, flight, or fear, head to the breath. Inhale for 4, hold at the top for 4, exhale for 7. And when you get to that bottom exhale, exhale more slowly. That gives you the count of 7 at the same rate you count that 4.
Hmm.
Take it in deeply, hold it, exhale to 7. And when you get to the bottom, give it an extra push.
Hmm.
And it lowers cortisol, it lowers blood pressure, it lowers that fear, which is what we would probably feel if we really walked up on one on the street that didn't look like a tall white, but
Yeah.
looked more like Jar Jar Binks or Greedo. Although
Hmm.
Greedo is kind of cute, but
That is a
so
very
well,
effective
I
routine.
don't know. I think Leah is one of the ones that's up there helping. So, oh, and let's see. I wanted to say something else about it. Um, just everybody's welcome. So please try to make it, and that place is just for you. And then the Athena popped in, and because she helped to design it, and now she wants one. She's jumping up and down. I want one. I want one. I said, hold on a second. Let's just work out all the kinks here, and then you can have the one you want. And then I'm sure that others want to have it. The same thing happened with the command ship. I designed that thing and I put it together, and all of a sudden now everybody wants one. So I mean, I know people who got almost a carbon copy of it, but they're commanders, so it's a command ship. So there's a whole pile of them. The Minutemen teams are based on that particular ship design. That's why it can get everywhere so fast. So
Mhm. That's something we can try later on. Before going to sleep, we can ask our guides and angels to help us get to that. And hopefully, we see that door um,
I
in our
yeah, they
dreams
seem
or
to be
our.
very fast at putting these things together because I come up with all these ideas and then
Mhm.
before I know, oh, it's done. So I mean, it's a work in progress, and let's see. I mean, I want the people who go there to give their opinions and
Mhm.
possibly request things. So
And maybe we can hear about them on the dream show with Diana and Ali next time.
okay,
Share
yeah.
with us what you see after this experience.
yeah. By the way, all the people have shown what they have seen, and it's very close to what Diana talked about. I mean, it's got paths, like little trails that you can go walk around. It's got like woods and it's got like large bodies of water, and it's even got a small volcano in it
Mhm.
because some elementals or fire elementals they got to have that. Otherwise, they're not going to want to have that. So, and then we've had about 2 or 3 groups of elemental show up because Gaia probably recruited them and send them over. I don't know how many we can fit in there. Or I mean, we're going to have to maybe like rotate them in groups or something.
We
But
shall
they
see.
seem to love it. And then what I was really surprised was how many masters showed up. I never asked. The only one I asked was Gaia and Metroton. That's it. And I guess Michael always does this. I mean, he always preempts everything, and he brings people over. And by the way, that's the second time Gaia has been on my ship. I mean, he brought her over one time, and during an executive meeting, and she gave a message.
Yes,
Since it
Diane.
can be what you want it to be, Harishi is going to love it up there because Harishi is in the place where he wants to be at all times. So, of course, the Harishi will come.
So I'm really excited, and then we're going to get it over. We're going to build another one on the Athena, and probably Ashtar Medical One, because that's a healing ship. So mostly probably the healing ship will get one of these if they want one. So hopefully that's the idea, to help the healing process along.
So we have another question from One Bright Feather. This might be our last question since we are at the top of the hour. They say, when I was younger, 5 to 8 years old, I think I was often visited. I have weird indentations on the very top of my earlobe. Could that be from the aliens or from aliens?
What do you think, Diane?
I worked with healing and removing dark galactic implants. And I've heard that they can get physical, that there are galactic implants that are physical. I would have to check you, I mean, energetically to see if it's from aliens, but it's possible.
Yeah, that was my first hit too, hon. It was an
Mhm.
implant.
Yeah.
But the implant may not be at the top of the ear where this little nip is. That little nip is for them to know. Oh yeah, she's one of us. Oh yeah, we got an implant on her for strangers,
Mhm.
not anyone who was involved in the original surgical moment.
Mhm. And not all implants are bad. Just to,
Right,
to let everyone know.
right.
When
And
someone says you have a or a galactic implant, don't be scared. Don't be
right.
afraid necessarily.
May I
Um,
suggest getting together with Diane
mhm,
separately on your own to have a private reading with her?
mhm.
Or, I mean, you're good at getting rid of them, so
Yeah,
don't.
Diane's a healer. So maybe she wants to do a little tour at the healing area. So, hint,
Yeah.
No, when I first read it, I was reminded of going to the Detroit Zoo as a child and worrying about the polar bears because they either had a tag stapled in their ear or they had a cut in their
Mm,
ear, and it was to mark to identify them. So those things are just that. That's why I'm convinced that this was to mark you so that it would just take a glimpse. If they didn't have the tool handy to pick up on your frequency in the implant, it was to mark that you are taken care of by someone else.
and being taken doesn't always mean bad things as well.
Yeah.
A
yeah,
lot of us get taken to ships, so we can access the med beds and we can get healing from our guides or from
yeah.
galactic beings. So yeah, it's
Mhm.
really dependent. It depends on anyone.
So get there, Allie. Get to the place. You got a ship now.
Yeah, I closed my eyes and this is what they showed me. It looks more like a cheerleader's mic megaphone.
Megaphone.
They just gave me a small one, and it looks like Alan Shepard's capsule because I come from Derry, where he was from. So that's
There
probably
you
what.
go.
Yeah, they want me
Voodoo
to
Valley.
be an honorary ship. Yeah. Anyway, what a great show, and thank you so much, Diane G, for being the verbal moderator today.
Yeah.
Appreciate it very much.
Thank you.
And
I
thanks
really
to
enjoyed
everybody.
it.
Is there anything else, Paul? Wasn't there one more thing you wanted to talk about?
Yeah, but that's okay. We don't have to talk about it this time. I mean, that's
Okay. All right.
that's a very long-term project that it's still coalescing.
Yeah. Yeah. Very good. Diana, do you have anything else you want to talk about?
No, I think we've covered today's topics as much as we can.
All right. And Diane, same with you.
I just wanted to promote something.
Good,
Diana
do
Bowles
it.
and
Yeah.
we started
Yeah.
a show.
Mhm.
It's a Galactic Akashic Records reading shows. It's on every fortnight. We don't have it this week, but we will be doing it again next week, I believe.
Yeah.
On Fridays at
Are you
5
talking
p.m.
about
EST.
me and you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we do Galactic Akashic Records readings and starseed readings. So if you're interested about your past lifetimes in different star systems, yeah, please do check our channels out.
Wonderful. So are you doing them on both, like 1 week on yours, 1 week on yours, or you
I
just
We do
doing
a
suppose-
it?
simulcast.
Okay. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
So you can go bright shiny feather. Come on, join us there.
Yeah.
We can get
And what
some-
time is it, Eastern time?
It's
5.
at 5 p.m.
5 Eastern?
EST.
Okay.
Yes.
So that would be 2 Pacific. And yeah, okay. And we won't say what a time in Diane's world because nobody else lives there.
It's gonna get
Well,
confusing.
I am so impressed with her. I mean, she is so dedicated. Because
She
right
Thank
now
you.
it's like 7:30, and over there in her time at 7:30 at night, and her time is 7:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
Well,
So,
yeah,
I'm an
she's
early,
she's
I'm an
committed.
early riser.
She's committed. Yeah. So thanks, everybody. Thank you, Paul. Thank you, Diana. Thank you, Diane. And thank you to all of you who make this show possible. And we'll be back in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
We'll let you know.
for having us. I mean,
Thank
you're
you.
wonderful to
Bye-bye.
bring into space.
Uh-huh. Bye, everybody.
Bye bye.
bye.